And we will start at 11 o'clock, okay? We don't need that much time. Start at 11. The Friday next week, the exam will start at 11, right here. I'm gonna repeat again. The exam, final exam, starts at 11 o'clock, okay? And it's right here, Friday next week.
My name's not on here.
No, it's just wrong. Just print
Oh, it's wrong. Just put your name.
Just put your name there. Yeah. Print your name so I can see it. Yeah. Okay, let's start. And last class we talked about the market structure, monopolistically competitive market. And you should expect that question and on the final exam as well. And today we're going to cover the very last market structure, called the oligopolistic market. So this is the last market structure that we're going to talk about. Okay, so now let's go through the characteristic of this market structure, oligopolistic market structure. So far we have talked about the perfect competitive, monopolistic market, and monopolistically competitive market. What about oligopolistic market? This is one that is actually the most interesting. And that's the one actually is most difficult to analyze, and we're going to go through example. Oligopoly market is a market where there's only a few competitors. There's not one and there's not many, but there's only a few competitors, only a few providers. For example, I talked to you about the cell phone market. And most you have 5 or 6 providers in the area. There's not one, and that's not many. There's only a few. And those few companies, they interact with each other. They watch each other's prices and also the services each company provides. So their action and really depends on how others act. Okay, so their price and quantity strategy is interdependent with other firms and strategies. Okay, so that's the first one. A few providers. How about the products? Are they homogeneous or heterogeneous? The same or different? Heterogeneous. For example, let's just use airline. Okay, airline industry. No, not airline industry. Actually, I'm going to use soft drink industry. Okay, there are actually only 3 major soft drink companies in the United States, and only 3. And as you know, they offer different kind of drink, right? Mountain Dew, and Coke, and Sprite, and Dr. Pepper. Okay, and I think a Mountain Dew and maybe Dr. Pepper offered by the one company. You can check it. I forgot. But there are 3 major soft drink companies make all these kind of drinks. Okay, and products are differentiated. They're different, right? You know, you have different kind of drinks. But now let's talk about another company like another market like airline. Okay, what kind of product do they offer? Airline market. It's not a tricky question. What product they offer to you guys?
Airline.
Huh?
Airplanes.
They offer you airplanes?
Transportation.
Flight from point A to point B, right? Okay. To me, when I search for the flight, actually I don't care too much about the carrier. I look at the price. Most of us do. We choose the cheapest flight, right? The flight with the cheapest price, with the lowest price. Because the service, even there's some probably slight difference. Some company give you peanuts and some company give you pretzels. Some company do not give you any. Okay, even there's some slightly difference in their services, but the product, the service they provide you is pretty much identical. So in that example, the goods are almost homogeneous, almost identical. But in the example of the soft drink industry, soft drink market, the goods are heterogeneous. So in this market, goods could be homogeneous or heterogeneous. Okay, third properties, characteristic we're going to talk about is entering and exiting. How do you think about entering and exiting? Is it easy to enter or exit in a market like a cell phone market, soft drink market, or airline market? It's not, right? And so there's a barrier to enter. Usually, and for those kind of market, it requires a lot of capital investment at the very beginning, okay, and also requires a lot of research and development, investment, okay. So, and there is barrier. And exit. And when the airline company does not make much money or lose money, they're not just going to get out because they lose money. It's going to stay around for a long, long time, because they have made such a big initial investment in this market. So there is a barrier to enter and exit in the oligopolistic market. Okay? Another example of oligopolistic market would be OPEC. Those 12 different countries, they produce oil together, and then depends on their total production, a market oil price is determined. So that's another example of oligopolistic market. Okay, now I'm going to ask you about market power. We have talked about market power. Market power is the price of charging a higher price without losing all the customers. Do you think the firms here have market power? The ability of charging a higher price without losing all the customers. Do the oligopolistic firm have market power?
Yeah.
They do. They do have market power. But where do you think their market power comes from? When we talk about monopolistically competitive market, the market where like a restaurant market, and we say that market power comes from differentiation. They differentiate their product from everybody else. That's why they're able to charge a higher price. Okay? But where do you think the market power comes from for oligopolistic firm?
There's only a few providers, and like you said, since it's heterogeneous, that means the differentiation between the products.
What if there's no differentiation, like airline industry, and the service that they provide is pretty much identical, right? Okay, so product-wise, service-wise, there's not much difference, but they still maintain a big market power. Where does that come from? Come from the big market share. Because there's only a few providers there, they maintain a big section of the market, and that gives them market power. Okay, there will be some customers that are loyal and to those companies. So in this market power comes from the big market share. You have to know the difference. In the monopolistic competitive market, the market power comes from differentiation of their product. But this one, the market power comes from the market share. The last one, which is most important characteristics, and you need to remember this because this will be on the final, this question. Last characteristic says there are interdependence among those firms in oligopolistic market. Interdependence. What is the meaning of interdependence?
Depend on each other?
They're going to watch out your quantity, the quantity and the price set by the other company, and they're going to take that into consideration when they set their price and quantity. So if American Airlines said, I'm going to offer $99 for the flight from Chicago to DC, other companies may do something like that as well a month later. Okay, so in this market, one thing that is so unique is each firm is going to take into considerations of other firms' action before they make their decision. So it's like playing chess. Have you guys played chess? International chess? I love that game. If you play chess, you know before you make this move, you're going to think about how the opponent is going to react to your move, right? You're going to take that into consideration before you make the move. So that is a unique feature in this market. So each firm going to think about if I say $99 per flight, how the firm is going to react to that. They're going to think about that and expect certain actions, and then they make the decisions. So that's what we talk about interdependent. And also, since there's only a few firms, each person's action is going to have huge influence on other firms' profit. Okay, and in all other market structures, this characteristic does not exist. There's no interdependence, but here there's interdependence. So in a monopolist competitive market, a Chinese restaurant may raise their price. Okay, but will that affect the demand for another totally different restaurant like American restaurant? Probably not. But in this market, no. Any one firm, one provider's price change or quantity change is going to influence all other firms' profit and actions. So that is a crucial characteristic of this market. So in this class, we're going to focus on this, interdependence. We're going to say, okay, if this exists, then how the firms make the decisions, okay? So if I know, okay, other firms are going to follow suit after I, say $99 per flight, and what should I do? Okay, so that's the question we're going to answer. In the oligopolistic market, how firms determine the price and determine the output, taking into other firms into consideration. Okay? All right. But before we do that, I want to provide a little summary for all these 4 different market structures. So far we have learned 4 different market structures: perfect competitive market, monopolistic market, monopolistically competitive market, and oligopolistic market. Okay? The first 2, perfect competitive market and the monopolist market, are at the extreme. Okay, one has no market power, has perfect competition. The other one has all the market power and there's no competition. And the third one, monopolistic competitive market and oligopolistic market, is somewhere in the middle. Okay, there's some competition going on, but also there's some market power. Okay, and also the last 3, monopolist market, monopolist competitive market, and oligopolist market, we call it imperfect market structure. Imperfect market structure. So if I mention this in the exam, you should know what I'm talking about. Imperfect. Imperfect. Why they are imperfect? Because they don't have the perfect competition. Only the first structure, perfect competitive market, has a perfect competition. But all the other 3 market structures are imperfect. All right. Now I need to So what is a consequence? What is the consequence of the imperfect market structure? Consequence would be the loss of efficiency. Or you can say this is a loss of the social welfare. So when the market is not perfectly competitive, you're going to experience a loss of efficiency. And in another word, that's loss of the social welfare. Okay, so which means there's some people would be able to afford and the good and enjoy the good, enjoy the utility, but in those market structure, they will not be able to get it and enjoy it. So there is this decrease of the efficiency, and there are some resources that is not allocated efficiently, not allocated to the hands of some people. So that's one thing I want to talk about. What do I mean by imperfect market structure, and what is the consequence of imperfect competition? All right, so next we're going to talk about that interdependence. To talk about this interdependence, I'm going to use the example of what we call it. What does duopoly mean? Duopoly.
Two firms.
Just two firms. It is oligopoly market structure, but only two firms compete with each other. Okay? So now let's look at this example. Okay, suppose that we have two airlines, okay? And the Continental Airline and the United Airlines. They're competing, okay? They're competing on the route from DC to Beijing, China. Okay. They have two options to choose from. Strategies-wise, they have two. One is no discounted price, offer no discount. If they don't offer discount price, the price will be $1,500 per ticket. And they offer discounted price, and it will be $1,000. So both firms have these two strategies to choose from. Okay? And they're going to make the decision simultaneously. Okay? So they're going to make the decision simultaneously. Okay? So that's the setup. Both firms choose to offer discount price, choose to offer discounted price or not discounted price. And they have to act the same time. Given that's the setup, I'm going to give you a box shows their potential payoffs. Okay, so each firm had two strategies to choose from, right? So we're going to have 4 possible outcomes, correct? You get that part? Okay, 4 possible outcomes. Let's say if both of them offer no discount, so which means each one is going to sell the ticket at $1,500. And if they both do that, they're going to split the market. Okay, they're going to split the market and half and half. And each of them is going to make $1.2 million. This number here on the left represents UA. This represents continental area. So each of them are going to have the half of the market and make $1.2 million. Now let's look at the other possible outcome. What if they both offer discounted price, $1,000? Again, they're going to split the market. Each one is going to get half. But the profit they're going to make is less. They're going to make $0.8 million each of them. So now they sell at a cheaper rate. But now if one company offers discount, the other one does not offer discount, what's going to happen? One company sells it at $1,500, the other one sells it at $1,000. What's going to happen?
One's gonna get the 1.2, 1.8.
I can't hear you.
One's gonna get the 1.2 million, and the other one gonna get the 0.8 million.
One is,
It's gonna get the 1.2 million. Like, and then the
So
other one's
one-
gonna get-
UA says, okay, UA now offers $1,000, okay, from, on this route from DC to Beijing. The other company sells at $1,500 from DC to Beijing. So if you're the consumer, you're the traveler, what you can do?
Cheaper.
You're gonna buy from United Airlines. Do you think anyone is gonna buy at $1,500? They're not, if they are rational. So, given those products, the service they provide are pretty much identical. If one offers discounted price, the other one does not, then this guy is going to get all the consumers, and the other guy cannot sell any ticket to anybody. So this guy is going to now make $1.6 million. The other guy is going to make zero. So vice versa, if UA offers no discount, Continental Airlines offers discount, then the one offers no discount makes zero, and the other one makes 1.6. So remember, the left number is always represent UA, the right number is always represent. So are you guys with me on the setup now? Any question on the setup? You need to ask me right now, because now we're going to go into the methodology. If you don't understand this, then it'll be hard to understand what's going on later. So any question here?
Where'd you get the numbers from?
I just arbitrarily made it up.
Oh, you just made it up.
I just made it up. Yeah. Okay, so each firm will have two players, two companies, and each company has two strategies to choose from, and then we'll have 4 possible outcomes. The question is, what would you predict what's going to happen between these two firms? So which outcome is likely to be the outcome that's going to take place?
So no discount for either one.
This one? You said this one?
That's how they make the most.
That's right. Any other idea, opinion? Which one you think is going to happen? When the firms, decide, they do not observe the other's action. Okay, this is a simultaneous move. Okay, they move at the same time. An outcome.
Then they'll probably do a discount.
Huh?
They'll probably do the discount thing.
Which one? You just saw that you don't know discount. Now it's this.
I didn't realize that they weren't going to be able to view what the other one was doing.
Yes, this is a simultaneous move. So they do not know what others going on.
They'll probably
So-
both do the discount.
For discount.
Trying to get more customers.
You think it's discounted? Both are gonna over discount it? Okay, good. So can you explain? So we're gonna end up here. Okay, why do you think it's gonna end up here? And I can tell you this is the correct answer. So we are going to end up here. So what is the rationale behind this?
More people about a cheaper ticket.
Huh?
More people about a cheaper ticket. Discount
More
ticket.
people to buy the cheaper ticket?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me analyze, okay, and why this is the outcome here. So in order to figure out why this is the outcome, whether this is the outcome, we're going to talk about this game theories methodology. What game theory methodology says this? Okay, so we're going to use the game theory methodology to solve this problem. And you guessed your intuition is correct, but we need to prove it. How do we do this? The game theory says this. If you want to determine each player's, we call it a player because we're using the game theory terminology. If we want to know each player's optimal strategy, then you need to fix the other player's strategy. So what we need here is, if we want to know what United Airlines is going to do, we have to fix Continental Airlines action. Pay attention to me here. If you're not, then you will not know how to solve the next problem. So we fix Continental. Let's suppose Continental Airline offers no discount. So we fix that. If Continental Airline does not offer discount, what is the best thing for United Airlines to do?
Discount.
Huh?
Offer discount.
Offer discount. Why?
Because they'll get all the same.
Because they can make 1.6 instead of 1.2 millions, right? Okay, good. So we mark this, showing that if Continental Airlines choose to offer no discount, then that's the best thing for UA to do. Okay, now let's fix Continental Airlines strategy again. If Continental Airlines choose to offer discount, then we'll look at this column here. Then what's the best thing for UA to do? Offer discount again because they can make 0.8 instead of 0, right? Are you guys follow me here? So what does this tell us is, no matter what Continental Airlines is doing, it's always best for United Airlines to choose offer discount. So no matter what other guy is doing, is playing, it's always best for you to choose the offer discount because they can make 1.6 instead of 1.2, or they can make 0.8 instead of 0. You seeing that? How many were seeing that?
Can you do it again?
Hmm?
Can you do it again?
Okay, we're gonna do it for the other player, then you'll see it. Okay. All right. So now so we finished finished talking about UA strategy. Now let's figure out Continental Airlines strategy. The methodology is exactly the same. So in order to figure out Continental Airlines strategy, we have to fix the other guy's strategy. So let's say United Airlines choose to offer no discount. Then we're looking at this row here. Okay? If United Airlines choose to offer no discount, then what is the best thing for Continental Airlines to do? Discount. Because if they choose discount, then they will end up with $1.6 million instead of 1.2, right? So when the United Airlines choose to offer no discount, it's the best thing for Continental Airlines to offer discount because they can end up here. Okay. So now you fix this one more time because there's another strategy possibility. So if United Airlines offers discount, then you look at this row here, then what's the best thing for Continental Airlines to do? Again, it's discount. Because now 0.8 is better than 0. So this tells you one more time, no matter what UA is doing, Continental Airlines' optimal strategy, the best strategy, is always to offer discount. So if you look at this outcome here, both one is marked enemies. So that's why in this game here, discount and discount is what we call Nash equilibrium. Nash equilibrium means everybody is playing its best strategy given the other player's action. So when both players choose discount and discount, then each one is playing its best, given how hard it's playing. Are you guys with me here? This is really not that hard, but you need to be clear. But now let me ask you this. This outcome is definitely worse than this one. It is worse than this one, right? Isn't that a kind of regret? That they both firms would end up with a worse outcome when there is a better opportunity for both of them. What do you think about that? It is a regret, right? But the reason they end up with that worse outcome because this is a competitive environment. Both of them want to choose their best. And I think a month ago we played this game. I don't remember whether you forgot or not. The game is I give you guys 2 extra credits and ask you guys to split it up. One part of credit you keep to yourself, the other part of credit you give to the group. You guys remember that one? Okay? And that game is exactly like this one. And if you want to achieve the highest score, what's your best strategy?
Give yourself some more points.
Keep everything to yourself. Do not donate 0 to your group, right? And if everybody does that, then everybody will get 2 credits total, right? But think about if everyone give that credit, give every bit of that credit to the group, then what's going to happen? Because I told you, if it go to the group, it's going to inflate by 20%. Remember that? Okay, so if everybody give that credit to the group, eventually everyone will end up with 2.4. So exactly like this game. Okay, so if everybody play in a way that they cooperatively, cooperatively, then everybody is going to receive 2.4. But that's never going to happen in a competitive environment. Okay. So we call this kind of situation, again, for this one, we call this prisoner's dilemma. Prisoner's dilemma. Prisoner's dilemma. So if I ask you what is the definition of prisoner dilemma, you should know. Prisoner dilemma is a situation when players and reach a worse off outcome.
Say that again.
Prisoner dilemma is a situation when players reach a worse off outcome because they are playing their optimal strategies. Because they are playing their best strategies, they end up with a worse outcome than the one that they would be able to get if they play cooperatively. So this is the prisoner dilemma. And this dilemma happens everywhere. Everywhere. But then I want to ask you this. Do you think is there any chance this outcome could happen? And what kind of circumstance we may end up with that good outcome? Okay, remember here, firms are not allowed to collude. Okay, if they collude, you may get sued for for being for doing the price fixing. Okay. So the firm are not allowed to collude. Okay. So they're not allowed to call each other on the phone and say, okay, let's stick with this price. Let's not compete with each other. They're not allowed to do it. If they do that, it's illegal. They're going to get into a big lawsuit case for that. And that's kind of case called price fixing. You see this kind of price fixing case going on in the world all the time. But firms actually, even though they are not allowed to do it, sometimes they do it implicitly. Okay, so so with that outcome, 1.2 could be reached under some circumstances. Think about it. That is better for everyone. Here what we talk about is what we call one period game. If it's only one period game, the firm is not going to survive next period. It's the only year that's going to last for them. Of course, they want to maximize their profit, right? Then their best strategy is offer discount. But what if there's future? And which is the more realistic case, right? And most of the firm is going to stay on the market for a while. Not only they have to worry about this year's profit, but also they have to worry about the profit made by the next year and the years following that. So when there is a future to worry about, then we may be able to sustain this outcome because each firm will have this reputation concern. They could do the discount, then they may piss the other firms off, and the other firm will not, offer no discount anymore. But if there is a future, then the firm think, okay, we're going to have many years to be on this market. Let's play cooperatively. I mean, that's what they think in the mind. It's going to be better for everyone. But if one of the firm renege on the promise, okay, is that, let's say one of the firm, Continental Airlines is a good guy. They offer no discount, but United Airlines renege the promise, offer discount. So in this year, Continental Airlines is going to receive 0, and the other guy is going to receive 1.6. Yes, the other guy make a huge profit, but next year, Continental Airlines is not going to trust him anymore, right? So they're going to offer discount again. So knowing there will be punishment later on, maybe that gives some incentive for the firm to choose no discount in the current period. So this may be able to sustain if there are many years to follow, if there is a reputation to build up, if there is that concern, and that may be able to achieve. Does that make sense? You guys know what I'm talking about? But if there's no future to worry about, they're going to play its best. They're going to offer discount. But if there's future to worry about, they may choose no discount right now. Okay, so also I want to introduce this concept called the dominant strategy. What is dominant strategy? Okay. Just now we talked about how do we discover the strategy, optimal strategy for each firm. We have to fix the other guy's strategy, right? Okay. So, and we show that no matter what United Airlines is doing, it's always best for the Continental Airlines to choose discount. No matter what Continental Airlines is doing, it's always best for the United Airlines to choose to offer discount. So we call this is a dominant strategy, which means your best strategy does not depend on the other person's action. When your best strategy does not depend on the other guy's action, then you have a dominant strategy. I'm going to change the number here. Then I'm going to use a new example to revisit all this concept. See whether you understand what is Nash equilibrium, what is the prism dilemma, what is dominant strategies. Okay. I'm just going to make things up. Let's suppose that's the payoff. Remember the payoff on the left side represent UA, represent payoff on the right side represent Continental Airlines payoff. Okay. So now, let's first start with UA strategy. How do we determine what UA is going to do? What is the methodology I used? What's the game theory methodology? Now we want to analyze this guy. What this guy is going to do? What's the game theory methodology tells us? Kevin?
You fix the opponents.
Louder?
You fix the opponents.
Gonna fix a opponent strategy, right? Okay. That's what game theory methodology. Remember, if we want to analyze this guy, you fix the other guy strategy. Okay, so that's fixed Continental Airlines right here. If Continental Airlines offers no discount, what's the best thing for UA to do? Alexis. If Continental Airlines fixes strategy right here, what's the best thing for UA to do?
If they what?
No discount.
It's no discount, right? Why? Because
It's 1.2
it's 1.2 is
versus 0.8.
is better than 0.8. So we fix Continental Airlines strategy now. Okay, if Continental Airlines offers no discount, then 1.2 is better than 0.8, right? So United Airlines is going to choose no discount. So you mark this number here and showing that if Continental Airlines is going to choose here, is going to fix the strategy here, then the best thing for UA to do is offer no discount. You guys follow me here? Okay, so now let's fix Continental Airlines strategy one more time. Okay, if Continental Airlines choose to offer discount, then what's the best thing for UA to do?
0.7 offer discount.
Brenda, you see that? You see that? We fix this Continental Airlines strategy one more time. Okay, we fixed it here. Okay, and now we decide what UA is going to do now. Okay, when we decide what UA is going to do now, we'll look at the UA's payout, UA's profit. They can either make 0.5 if they choose that, or they can make 0.7 if they choose that. Which one is better?
Discount.
Discount is better. 0.7. Okay, look at this situation here. If Continental Airlines chooses to offer no discount, the best for UA to do is here. If Continental Airlines chooses to offer discount, the best thing for UA to do is here. Do we have a dominant strategy for UA now? What's the meaning of dominant strategy? I just give you the definition here. If someone repeat the definition for me.
It doesn't depend on the other firm's strategy.
You always have the same best strategy no matter what other players play. So does UA have dominant strategy? Now UA's best strategy really depends on how Continental Airlines is doing, right? If Continental Airlines is doing this, then the best strategy is no discount. If Continental Airlines is doing this, then the best strategy for UA is choose to offer discount. So it changes, right? So now this guy's best strategy depends on what the Continental Airlines is doing. So in this case, there's no dominant strategy for United Airlines. You guys get that? Okay, I want you to do the same thing for the Continental Airlines. Tell me whether Continental Airlines has a dominant strategy or not. So what is game theory methodology again? What's game theory methodology?
Reviewing your opponent.
Fixing your opponent's strategy, right? Okay, so who is the opponent? UA. How do we fix it?
Look at what they're gonna do.
Let's fix UA on this first row first. Okay, suppose UA is doing this. Now we're fixing it, right? We're fixing UA strategy. If UA is doing this, there's only two possible outcomes, right? What's the best thing for Continental Airlines to do?
No discount.
No discount or discount?
No discount.
Because this 1.2 is better than 0.2. Right now you're going to compare the right number because we're looking at the Continental Airlines profit. So you mark this number. What next?
Maybe you offer some discount.
Your offers discount. Now look at this row here. What Continental Airlines should do? No discount because one is better than two. So what's your conclusion? Does Continental Airlines have a dominant strategy?
Yes.
When UA choose no discount, Continental Airlines is going to choose no discount. When UA choose discount, Continental Airlines is going to choose no discount. Again. So does Continental Airlines have dominant strategy? Yes, they do have dominant strategy. They always choose no discount, no matter what UA is doing. So in this case, one guy has dominant strategy, the other guy does not have a dominant strategy. Then what is the Nash equilibrium? Which one?
No discount.
The outcome with both number are marked underneath. You may wonder why did I do those kind of marking? Because if both numbers marked underneath, that is Nash equilibrium. That is the outcome when each guy is doing his best given the other guy's action. So the Nash equilibrium is here. So that's what we're going to end up with. I want you to go through this question, make up your own numbers. It does not matter what numbers you give, but this asks you to practice this methodology, okay? Asks you to practice this game theory methodology. So game theory methodology is very simple. If you want to find the one player strategy, you fix the other. Then whatever is going to do, then you mark underneath that payoffs. Then after you finish all this marking, the picture is very clear. You know whether there is anyone has dominant strategy, you know whether there is Nash equilibrium. I want to tell you this though. There may be situations that neither one have a dominant strategy, but there is a Nash equilibrium. And also there are situations, there may be multiple Nash equilibrium. And there may be situations there is no Nash equilibrium. They all possible. So what I'm going to do on the final is I will give you this matrix. Oh, I will describe a situation, ask you to fill in those blanks, fill in the box. Then after you fill those in, then you decide what is Nash equilibrium, whether there is dominant strategy or not. Is this a hard question? It's not hard. Once you know what's going on, it's not hard at all. You know, you just fix the row and look at these numbers, and fix the column and look at the other two numbers, compare it, and you mark it. But you have to practice. You have to practice. Okay, so this will be one of the questions, and we're going to have in the final exam. I may go through one more questions on Friday. Okay, one more example, and today, but you really need to do the practice. So what I ask you to do is change those numbers. You know, change them. You know, give your own number and figure things out. Okay, any other questions? Okay, so a couple of things, okay? Review session is 12:30. And there's a homework that is due this couple days, okay? And that will be extra credit homework. You don't have to do it, but if you do it, you will get extra credit, okay? And one more thing is our final exam is Friday next week, starts at 11 o'clock right here, okay?